How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with some more Brawl here on MTG Arena, which is my new favorite way to avoid saying the H word. And I am here because I found something interesting. Uh, we will not do this yet. And the interesting thing is this guy right here. His name is Ixidor. Ixidor Reality Sculptor. We're pretending to be a mono blue counterspell deck. Your opponent has bought it so far. We're about as far away from that as you can be. Now, the reason why I decided to build this deck is because in the very early days when I started playing Magic, Innistrad was the most recent, not Innistrad, Dark Ascension. It was part of the Innistrad block, but it was the second set as opposed to the first. That set. Oh, this is kind of bad. I guess we just get down Sandor. Innistrad was, or Dark Ascension was the most recent set, but one of the first Magic products I bought wasn't from the new set. It was from like beginner series, a starter series. Let's get rid of that. On it. Turn it to hand. Sure. Sandor, he's toxic now. Um, and that beginner set was based around cards from the onset block. Which I believe this is. I might be getting the name wrong, but I remember this symbol. Um, Now it didn't involve Ixidor, at all. It was actually it was a big deck and a little deck. And the idea was that you would have one player play the big deck, and you'd have one player play the 40 card deck, and cast it. And the player that played the big deck was playing like a cleric black white strategy with a cleric tribal deck. And the small deck was a 40 card goblin tribal deck. And boy, me and my friends played that deck so much. We played them against each other a lot, but then we played the goblin deck a lot too. And the reason for that was because it just had a really strong aggro core. And whenever we weren't playing standard, which at the time was like the main form, hey, not Ixidor. Take action, I guess. Yes, we're moving him to our command zone. That's what we want to do. Oh, save the day. Key to the archive. Uh, Probably going for Rift if I'm being honest. There we go. In the turn, we take a big hit, but we'll be fine. Our opponent has to decide what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to force out the Scoot Swarm. Yep, okay. Yeah, but I was working my way through quests, and I saw Ixidor as something that I hadn't crafted, and I knew I wanted to play him. He's not great, uh, mainly because face down creatures are not very common on Arena, and they're as a result not very common in blue either. So he's just in the worst color combination, and in a client that doesn't really support what he's trying to do. I don't even know how he got on Arena, what set put him here. Uh, but I saw him, I crafted him, and I went from there. There's no way they don't have a counterspell. Blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they rift, we are dead. Kinda hope they don't rift. That our rift resolves, which it won't, but you know, here's hoping. Opponent. So that's a bad sign. Uh-huh. Does this do anything, opponent? It does. Very cool. Yark is back. And he's gone. So we're not gonna win, but we can be annoying at the end. I would have liked to get my key to the archive back, but what can you do? Gonna have to discard a card upon it. Hmm. Well, let's see if we can draw out of this. Okay. Hmm. The problem is that playing it face down is just worse than playing it face up because of flying. But we'll do it anyways, just to benefit off of our commander. Look at that. We've done it. I can't believe it, honestly. Dark is back. Blade. Use one. Okay. Fair enough. It did generate a lot of mana. Ah, you got me. The other one too. I'm opting out of the triggers. It's rude, I know, but I cannot stand those triggers. If they we're only at game one. We have to get in at least another game. And if you leave a Yarick player alone long enough, they'll play for another 10, 20 minutes. Because they wouldn't have been able to kill me that turn. They would have. Well, they might have. Like, there could have been something in their hand that gave them one additional power able to attack, but always could see was 6. Which is why it's a bit of an early concede, but I have faith that at some point those triggers led to a counter somewhere, or a base creature, or a anything really that just pumped a bit. Would have done the job. Uh 3 million because this is bad. and worse, which is a bad combination. We'll get a blue land. Just to get our colors going. Hullbreak Horror is one of our finishers. I put in the face down creatures into the deck and counted up how many creatures we had. We have 11 that have a disguise or morph or manifest, I suppose, even though it's not real manifest. Almost. One of the ways that we could win is by Helm of the Hosting our opponent, our commander, into amazingly powerful army. Well, opponent. We just commit that commander. I am not winning against a Layla with a head start. Just not going to happen. Get down our commander. He's a 5-mana 3/4. I do miss well, I don't miss because I didn't play during this time really, but I just find it so fascinating that no thank you, opponent. Helm of the Host. In the turn. This is one of our game plans. It's working. I can't believe it. It doesn't make sense. Oh, well, that's bad. They revealed a lot of lands. Yeah, okay. Okay. That is the plan, huh? Wow. Very cool. I guess me and Ixidor showed up at the wrong table. Uriel Philippe. But we could have stopped this too. Like we had this would have done it. But no. We are dead opponent. You just have to attack. A neat ideal for a deck. I'll probably steal that. Thank you for your service, Mr. Uriel Philippe. To use a Tali's favor and other discoveries, and then you just pack your deck full of lands. That is cool. Well, luckily they give us time for one more. We have like 6 minutes, but we should be able to die in that amount of time. Yeah, one of my incomplete thoughts during that match was I miss the days when Magic cards were so baffling, right? Because looking at this as a modern Magic player, this is This is hot garbage. It's like a glorious anthem type effect, which has been discounted to like 2 mana these days. It's a 3/4 for 5, which is stats you would find on a bad common. And it has a activated ability. Turn target creature face up for 3 mana, which is just kind of not great. So there's a lot going on with this card that is a bit odd. From a modern perspective, right? But that's how Magic cards used to be. Like, I imagine there's a ramp. I imagine that if you played Magic for long enough, looking at some of the newer cards would trigger that same sense of bizarrety attached to the cards, right? Because you're more used to, you have more memories of things like this. But it's a little strange. But it's just like the course. Hey, that was mine. Don't do that. Rude. Sure. This lets me ramp and cast my commander. My commander is actually a decent blocker here. You're not gonna block a Cultivator Colossus. Boy, I need to build more up the beanstalk decks. It's a cool card, but I don't use it because my card advantage tends to stay in the Great Hinge range. Because it's just, I don't want to say it's optimal, but it's easier. I suppose would be a better way to look at it. Like if you're playing in a deck that has a green tinge to it, it's playing creatures is something you're gonna do anyway, so you might as well draw cards for it. And this one, I guess would be, oh my god, opponent. Haven't we drawn enough cards? Crater Hoof time? Is this some world class mono green going on here? This is the dream. Alright, that's too much for his opponent. Oh yeah, no, there is a Crater Hoof in there. Let's see the Crater Hoof damage. I always love seeing Crater Hoof damage. Gonna activate it. Do it. Do it, opponent. Do it. We need to see the most damage. It's right here. That's not gonna do it. This right here was much better. I wasn't gonna block, but we're missing out on damage, opponent. We could have been at negative 500. Because they have 28 cards in hand. Everything would have been 28 plus whatever the Greater Hoof got them. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.